It's good up there. But anyway, Joe Biden, Bezel, during the campaign, he made a statement that if he got elected and all, he was going to put the first black woman Supreme Court justice. And this week he announced that he is going to do that based on the upcoming retirement of Justice Stephen Breyer. Now, people have all been out of shape about, hey, you can't do it because of race and sex and all. But I would remind those of you that Ronald Reagan, and he said he was going to do that. When Trump put Amy Barrett on that, this is the latest Supreme Court, the white lady that he put on there. He put her on there because she was pretty much to the point of extreme right. She was anti-abortion, and so listeners, don't be fooled. When governors appoint judges, when president appoint judges, it's all politics. It's all politics, and so now everybody's upset. And I'm a conservative Republican, but I'm not a sympathizer or anything to right-wing politics or this Nazism that you see in the Republican Party now and all. So they got a list going. One of the ladies that's on there actually being considered went to USF in undergrad. Clint knows her, and she later she hails from South Carolina. She's actually a district judge in South Carolina now. And she's the favorite of the powerful brother James Clyburn, who, had it not been for the blacks in South Carolina delivering the vote, Biden wouldn't even made it to even run for president from the Democratic side. So he's favoring her. A lot of other people are favoring the black lady, Katanya Jackson, who's on the powerful District Court of Appeals in D.C., which is really right next. That's the next step up to the Supreme Court. Right. And you know, my thing, Bezel, is I think the lady, Miss Jackson, Judge Jackson, should stay where she is. And here's why I tell you that. There's no guarantee that they will put another African American in her place on that powerful. Okay? So that could be a stepping stone for her later. They're both young. Miss Childs, coming out of South Carolina, she's a sharp lady too. And she and I think Clyburn hit on something, whether you're Republican or whatever, because people understand this, Facebook and listeners throughout the country. People vote for people outside of their party over and over again. They just don't tell you. Because at the end of the day, a lot of it has to do with your interests and how the candidates match up with your interests or your kids' future interests. We don't like to tell that story, but we should teach that in political science within the young people coming up in our own community. So Clyburn says, hey, if Biden, I've been pushing this lady, Judge Cheeks, and Clyburn says, hey, look, she will get the support of the two senators from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham and the black senator Tim Scott. And I thought about it. I went back, and since Biden he's appointed a lot of district judges and all, a lot of diverse judges, a lot of black women judges. Right. Here's the thing that got me, Bethel.
What's up? What's the thing?
Tim Scott, this brother that calls himself a brother, he's a black Republican. Of the judges that Biden has appointed and won, they voted them out and confirmed them. Do you know this brother, even with black judges that Biden has supported or nominated, he's voted against all of them because Republicans say, hey, we're not going to support any of them. Now, Rick Scott and Rubio from Florida, they're not going to vote for no black judges. That ain't going to happen. We understand that. Rubio, big disappointment and all. But as I told people last week, and I told Daryl and Clint this week as we discussed this show, that I would not be surprised that if Miss Cheeks from Carolina is not nominated by Biden, I would not be surprised that Tim Scott would vote for any other black woman. See, we got to get out of this thing that I'm telling our listening audience, there are a lot of African Americans who in a position of power, regardless whether Democrat or Republican, they forget about the cause, and it's all about the Benjamins, the Stacks, and their influence. And when I look at a guy like Tim Scott, who was supposed to be with Cory Booker and say, hey, we're going to get this criminal justice reform. Remember, Bezel, I told everybody that it was fake?
Right.
And it never happened. Now you got this guy, you look at his record, and the judges that Biden has appointed and been confirmed, those are not extreme left-wing judges at all. Because people got to understand, judges are generally conservative. I mean, even black ones, generally, they're conservative. It's almost like police officers. You can have bias in the police department. You can have just racial profiling and all like that. But you never see a lot of brothers come out and say, hey, we were wrong. My colleague, the white policeman, is wrong and all, because it's a fraternity thing. They're going to look out for each other come hell or high water. Mm-hmm. Tim Scott is a black man, but he's positioned himself to be in the legislative circles as Clarence Thomas is in the judicial circuit. So my opinion on that this morning, and I told Clint, I'm going to go out on the line and say, I don't believe they're going to be able to get a black woman confirmed this year. Tell you why. The Senate is 50-50.
Now, you know, Clint would disagree with you right away.
Oh, yeah, but the Senate,
he's like, what are you talking about?
But Clint doesn't, he doesn't want to admit, like a lot of folks, that this country is in trouble. We're in deep, deep trouble. You can see it everywhere. And when I tell young people, you got to gird your loins up, put on the whole armor of God. You gotta study more about what's around, and you are going to have to take the lead along with your white young people friends and gay young people friends and Jewish young people friends and all, because the attack has been there, and we got people, African Americans, who are in a position to the hurt us is worse than the oath keeper. See, it's not about. Okay, we got a call. Let's get this caller right now. Good morning, caller, and welcome to Straight Up the Middle with Pete Edwards and Brother Bethel. And what say you?
Good morning, Mr. Edwards. And getting turned out. He's not here, but you guys do a good show weekend. I look forward to the dialogue. But I got to push back on you with this. Biden, he has to get this done because this is his legacy, this is his promise. He has to get this done, and I think the obsession is going to be with cinema and matching. Tim Scott is not. He shouldn't be a factor really, but matching and cinema is going to be the one that I think going to really push back on this.
Well, here's the other thing, and you tell me from what you think about this. The powers, the extreme right power of the Republican Party is based on not an assumption but a fact that the Democratic Party is so fragmented, number one. The Democrats really don't respect the black voting bloc. And when they do try to make amends, you never see them really push black men, they push black women. Okay, I get that. But the thing, I'm sitting coming into the station today, I'm saying if I'm an extremist beyond conservative, but extremist white senator or whatever the case may be, I would, from political purposes, forget about finding redemption, but from a political purpose, I'm enjoying this because I realize that I don't have to do much because of the fragmentation within the Democratic Party, number one. Number two, it's stylish to be anti-black, be anti-equal opportunity, all of that. So when you got a brother like Tim Scott, if you look at his voting record, I go back better than that. Tim Scott did not push Trump on being diverse in his appointments for federal judges. People don't realize Donald Trump only appointed one or maybe two black judges in the whole 4 years he was there. But you go back and you didn't hear nothing from Tim Scott about that. So that's why it says birds of a feather stick together. And I believe that no black woman will be voted in before the election, off-year elections later on this year. Now, you look at the play and you tell me, looking at the number of women that they have mentioned as potential candidates, and you know it's always one that they don't really mention that they wind up nominating. You tell me, do you really believe that they're going to be able to put one in? Forget about Manneman and Sinema. They know who they are already. So they have nothing to hide. They're not afraid of the black voters or anything because Joe talks about he represents his constituency. So do you really believe that they're going to put a black woman on the Supreme Court before the mid-year election?
Well, I mean, like I said, I think if Biden, he's going to do everything he can to get this because this is his legacy, this is his promise, and this was going to get him back into the 24 election. But the problem is going to be cinema. There's wages being pushed that cinema she may flip because I can see that she's not a good supporter.
Well, they are who they are. See, black America, we keep making the same mistake over and over again. And that's why I left the Democratic Party a long time ago. I can be an independent conservative Republican. It's because we keep falling for the fact that white elected officials, once they tell us that they're Democrat, then we give them a pass. We give them a pass. We even give black elected officials who keep getting elected over and over again, but will lie and say, hey, elect me, I'm going to fight, and then will lie and will tell us that, well, I couldn't really deliver the goods. Or when they deliver the goods for their district, they lie to us and don't tell us how they were able to work together as a coalition with good Republicans to bring home the bacon. You see what I'm saying? It's a joke, and that's why young people don't fall for this politics anymore.
And that's why they want to take big money out of this dark money out of politics because they get bought and sold, and they're going to highest bidder. And we as citizens, I mean, we just don't contribute a lot, to your candidates. So they go to the corporation.
Well, they go to that. They do. And here's the other part of that. The good thing that the extreme right of the Republican Party has going for it, they have foot soldiers that they can stir up and everything. Even though those foot soldiers are being used, if it matters to them that the illusion of continuing white right-wing power control over everybody else, they'll fall on their sword for the dark money Republicans, and then they'll lose out on their own. You see it in affordable housing, you see it in child care, you see it in a lot of things. So it's a crazy thing. And if you want to talk about it locally, it's the same thing with judges and all. And we're going to be going to a break in a minute. And go ahead and get your point over. Then we're going to go to a break.
And Jim Scott, raised a couple million, like $30 million already.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, man. But when we come back from the break, and thank you for calling. Our call-in number is 813-444. Sounds like a catch-3 number. But anyway, 813-444-9588. And it's love and happiness. It's cuffing season. It's culling and chilling season. It's snatching souls. It's redemption season. The brothers in the man cave. And there's a few sisters in the man cave, too. Do what you got to do to get back in the house. Either that, you better get you some thick socks out there in the cold. Because once you get cold, it's cold. Let's go to break, and we'll be right back with my man Bethel and I. Bezel, and I want to hear what he has to say about all this fake stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just keep it real. And hello, Facebook friends. I got a haircut for y'all. How about that?
All right, let's go to break.
Right.
Peace.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen or sundown 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. It's a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
All right, we're back here on a beautiful, it's windy, about 20 degrees or something. The women can wear their long leather boots and short miniskirt and short cropped leather jacket. Now, somebody text me, listen, in this kind of weather, this is how you can redeem yourself. You can say, I'm sorry. You can say, hey, let me fix breakfast with some hot chocolate. Brothers and sisters, in order to heal, you got to give up something. Remember that. You have to give up something. So a lot of times in the cold weather, especially when love and happiness is not there, you got to seek redemption in a hurry, because you won't be able to thaw out. You may get warm when the temperature rises, but the question is, will the person you allegedly in love with, will their heart warm or will it stay cold for you? I'm just throwing it out there as an old player. I'm retired now, I leave it up to the young jits about playing bezel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, me on that. Okay, we're talking about Biden. He was on the election trail. He says, look, I'm going to make sure it's way overdue. First vacancy I got, I'm going to recommend a black woman. I think the way the Senate is set up, the way this country, as I told Clint, this country, we may not survive by 2024 as far as a democracy or anything close to it. So, Bezel, I'm going to ask you.
Yes, sir.
You think the way we're going in this country that they would really put a black woman on the Supreme Court bench?
Yes, I do.
Before the 2020 election?
Look, anything's possible, right? So I feel that, yes, you can have, Biden promised what he promised, and he's going to try to deliver. Just like Trump, when he promised, he's going to try to deliver, right? Mm-hmm. So he's going to try to deliver. They're going to try to stop it. They're going, he's still going to try to, proceed and try to get it done. So I don't know the legalities of it and how long it's going to take for it to happen. I don't even think the judge made an official announcement yet.
Well, he did that, but he says, hey, I want to stay on until such time as the lady is confirmed. And one thing we got to watch out for, when in our community we get all hyped up and all, when it's the first black this, when it's the first black that. No. And we take a false assumption that if a black opponent, that black person is going to be like we think we are, or like we think they should be, all liberal, all understanding the hood and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't work like that. It's the reality of the situations that count. So I tell people all the time, the black community politics, no, it's not monolithic. Where we go wrong at is that we don't stay on the battlefront at the front of the political thing, because we get one and done. We get one and we forget about the real cause and all. And so I'm looking at this thing, and like I said, I went back and looked at the record for Tim Scott, the black senator. This joker has not made any statements during the Trump administration and say Trump needs to be more diverse in his judicial appointment. And the reason why he hadn't done that, because he's just looking out for him. Tim Scott, Clarence Thomas, those guys, the only connection now that they have with the black community is that their skin is black. But they'll use examples that, hey, I was pulled over and profiled. A lot of that is fake stuff. I give you another example. Why I'm looking at this thing where the Trump people the extremists had these fake electors ready to go. They sent the falsification of the electorates all to the archives and the whole. One of the ones that the committee is going to subpoena for this wrongdoing is a black man. And I'm thinking, here we go. What could he hope to get out of it but benefit a little bit financially or something? Kind of like Herman Cain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so that's in every gender, race, ethnicity group, you have that. But I don't think that we're going to get it done. All it takes is one switch of a senator, and I'm looking at it from the people like Lindsey Graham, Joe Hawley, Tom Cotton, them extreme right wing senators. I know the black people aren't going to vote during the mid-year election.
So you feel like it's not going to happen.
It won't happen. I was right before. It's not going to happen.
Okay, so would you like it to happen?
Yes, there are a lot of qualified women, but when you see the person that they want is a lot of the Democrats and all feel that the lady that should be appointed by Biden is Katanya Jackson that's on that First District Court of Appeals.
Right, Judge Jackson.
Judge Jackson, sharp lady and all. But the reality of it is, in all of Biden's appointments, black and all this year, there's only been 3 or 4 Republicans that have voted for her on that side at the most. Now, Clyburn is thinking, and he's speaking truth to power, that if the lady from South Carolina is appointed, then he has put Lindsey Graham, who just got reelected, and Tim Scott, who's up for reelection, he's put them on the spot because, wait a minute, y'all from South Carolina, they know this lady's child's record. She's not even a liberal black judge. She's a go by the book judge.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at her record before she got appointed judge, good balance and all. So Clyburn is using a political thing, say, all right, she's from South Carolina. If these 2 South Carolina senators can't support her, then something really wrong. But he's exposing them to flush out the continuing racism of Lindsey Graham, and to flush out whether Tim Scott, does he believe in fairness and all, or he's just going along with the extreme for himself. And I think he's doing that. I don't worry about Sinema and Manchin. I mean, they are who they are. But the bottom line is and I try to think as if I'm in a power like Lindsey Graham and all like that, this is a perfect thing for me because I just don't support any of them. But Tim Scott is going to show you that it's all about him. Now, one thing I do like about Trump, when you look at it from a political science point of view, Trump exposed the real racists in this country. from an economic standpoint. See, we get caught up in thinking the only races are Klansmen, oath keepers, and all like that.
No.
But see, that's what even a lot of people in the black community want.
I could agree with you on that one.
Okay,
I could
tell
agree
us
with you on
why.
that.
Tell you why. Tell us why.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I agree. It brought out it just put people in Front Street. You know what I'm saying? It made you realize who's who. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So you're that. All right.
Yeah,
All right, I got you.
And so I'm grateful for that he did that. Not so much for me, but as we teach the young people, the ones 30 and under, what reality, what time it really is. It's the same thing about a lot of judges. You know, when you look at the guy that was when Earl Warren was appointed by Eisenhower, I believe, he was appointed based on the fact that this guy is a conservative jurist. And when you look at the Warren Court with Thurgood Marshall on there and everybody else, a lot of the major accomplishments for minorities, and particularly Afro-Americans, was achieved by a guy that they thought wasn't going to do nothing but be extreme right-wing. They did the same thing when you look at President Lyndon Johnson. Johnson actually, in one way, was a Trumper. He exposed everybody and say, hey, look, we're going to get it done. He didn't like the fact that maybe it's going to cause black and white couples to marry and all like that. But the bottom line with the civil rights movement, we had to get it done because he was thinking for the future. So we should be blessed with that. But when you look at these appointments coming up and when you look at the voting pattern and all, we're in trouble.
Right.
And so I hope that I just don't see it. I told Clint that when you look at the ones that they have proposed, including a black judge that's an associate judge from the California State Supreme Court.
So
Do you really think the senator's going to vote for anybody from California they see as extremely liberal or socialist or not? You know.
what's that judge from California, Kruger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
I don't know. I mean, I think Jackson has the best.
On paper,
plans.
they just confirmed this lady. And see, that's the trick to this thing. Well, we have to teach our kids. Look, just because they confirm them the first time, and they got the same record in front of them, okay, doesn't mean that they're going to do it the second time. And the lady Childs, who was up for something, there's another lady who was up for something.
Michelle Childs.
They had to,
Judge Childs.
they pulled her confirmation hearing back, set it back a little bit because she may be a candidate for the Supreme Court. And if I'm in the position of Joe Hawley, we know we're not voting for anybody black for anything. Rubio, a sad state of affairs for a guy from Florida, from Cuba. But it reminds all of us that what you think they ought to be to do right, they won't do right. So, sisters, I hope they do appoint the lady. I think we need some balance on the court as far as, like Charles, she's not from Harvard and all that kind of stuff. But then that brings in another subject. If you look at the majority of the judges, they're from these Ivy League schools. But then when you look at the reality of the situation, some of the most openly prejudice and racism occurs at Ivy League schools. Hell, even Ron DeSantis went to an Ivy League school and all. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what it is. So, our calling number is 813-444-9588, 444-9588. And today, what's also going on is that locally, we had the mayor announced that we had 3 candidates for the new police chief, a black woman with 28 years, deputy chief down in Miami, Florida, a former major here, Mary O'Connor, who's liked about a lot of black women who worked with her over the years here, like her, and then the acting interim police chief, Ruben Delgado, who is Hispanic. So they had a forum. Ruben, also known as Bush Delgado, his father passed, so he couldn't be there to think. Now I'm looking at that They had the different people over, and when we come back to break, I'm gonna tell you how politics play a role, and I'm gonna give you my guess of who I think that should be, who I think the mayor's gonna appoint, and then we'll be right back on In Touch Radio, going straight at the middle.
If I'm not mistaken, we might even have some donuts.
Oh well, look, we couldn't get the ribs in today because of the cold storm, the northeastern, so Daryl gets a break on that. All right, we'll be right back with Love and Happiness In Touch. And don't forget the Snatching Souls weekend too. My good people out there in the street, they understand what Snatching Souls is all about.
Yeah, it's Netflix and chill right now.
How about that? Yeah.
That's what it is.
And hula too. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
You've been injured, you deserve help from an attorney that knows how to handle your injury claim. This is Attorney Clinton Paris from the Law Office of Clinton Paris. For over a decade, I worked for insurance companies, and now I use that knowledge and experience to help people that have been injured. For a free consultation, call me, Attorney Clinton Paris, at 813-413-7924. That's 813-413-7924, or at parislawoffice.com. At the Law Office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt. Offices, Riverview.
It is love and happiness. Make you want to do right. Make you want to forget that you done wrong before you was able to be rescued from your man cave. Gonna send us out to all the ladies on this, Daryl, this beautiful weekend, windy and everything, my brother. And you know what? I got a haircut, and I told the guy I want a baldy scalded, and he said, man, it's going to be cold, Brother Pete, and everything like that. I say, but with all these beautiful fingernails that the sisters are getting done, they're getting their nails done. Can you imagine the warmth in a romantic evening, just driving down the street, and a fingernail comes across the middle of my bald head? Gives me a drive to want to do better.
Did you hear him?
I heard him.
Sometimes we have to kind of restrain.
Yeah.
But it's good. But
You'll get sidetracked.
But I mean, when I talk to our listeners and they see us on Facebook and all,
Okay.
one of the things they enjoy with the banner and everything else is we keep it real.
Okay.
As far as what's needed for the moment. I mean, you think about it. You work all week, you catch hell all week, you got to deal with racism all week. I mean, kids ask for money that you wouldn't expect for them to ask for, even when they get grown. All that kind of stuff. So when you have an opportunity to just really have a chance to really understand the power emotionally, spiritually, of cuddling and chilling.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. You don't need no neon signs, no fancy bells and whistles. You don't have to order from Burns Steakhouse. All that. But just a good weekend where everybody can be themselves, expose themselves more to the person who's trying to understand them better and love them more. You feel me on that?
I do. Yes,
okay.
sir, I do.
So we do that. Now,
Pete,
Let's talk about this.
You were talking about the black the black Supreme Court justice, and I think thank you, and I think that I think they will confirm Supreme Court justice, black female Supreme Court justice, because the Republican Party, along with Joe Manchin and Sinema, they want to seem as if they are not obstructionists. So they need this. They need an easy win, and see, it's an easy win for them. It's
on the surface, it is.
It is because there's literally no change in the dynamics of the Supreme
That's
Court.
correct. That's correct.
So it's easy. The only change is they got a sister on the court now. But other than that, the voting block is still the same.
Well, the other thing too is I told Bezel, if they don't nominate the distinguished black woman from South Carolina, you won't get the vote of the black senator from South Carolina,
okay.
Tim Scott. This guy has voted against every judicial, regardless of whether the person is black.
And who is the lady from South Carolina? Is that
It's Judge Jackson.
no,
it's not Jackson.
That's,
It starts with an M.
Michelle
Childs.
Michelle Childs.
That's
yeah.
correct.
Who is a fellow USF person,
Yeah, she's
along
from
with
USA.
Clint. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Clinton mentioned that he knew her from back in the day.
Well, Daryl, look, I'm looking at this thing. I don't have to worry with the mid-year elections coming up, and normally the president that's in power, they lose people in the House. That's just
True.
a history. But on top of that, if I'm from an extremist Republican point of view, or as an extremist Republican sympathizer, who Tim Scott is, I'm not scared of black voters nowhere in the country because they get. And some people will think I'm wrong for saying this, but black voters during off-year elections get lazy.
So, but wait a minute. You telling me that Tim Scott is not going to vote for a black judge if it's not the lady from South Carolina?
Absolutely. You look at his record with.
Well, what about his counterpart,
Lindsey Graham?
Lindsey Graham, is he going to vote for her?
Well, I think Lindsey will do it because he's been consistent on. Generally, they be consistent on giving the president power to do that. So I think Lindsey will do it, even though he just barely got reelected. But when I look at the track record,
Tim Scott.
See, we get it mixed up. We say we want a brother and sister on the
But
board,
see,
but
but-
they get lost.
This is an opportunity for him to vote for a black person,
And
whether
he's
he
up
likes
for
it or not.
re-election,
And
too.
So I think they will. I think they
I
will.
don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
may have
do.
to. Well, we'll see, because you gotta. We look at these patterns of. They talk about Manchin and all. Look where he comes from. You've been to West Virginia.
I have.
I've been to West Virginia.
Yes.
They even got a couple of HBCUs in West Virginia. It used to be Bluefield State and one of the other ones. Okay, the guy represents his constituencies.
Who does?
Manchin.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
Because if he did, he would be voting on these programs. Otherwise, he votes for his own self-interest. Period.
Well, yeah, he's making money off of that too. Here's what I had a fellow white conservative tell me: that black people have to understand, and white people too, that people who are in a power position in elected office, or whatever the case may be, that if it comes down to them winning re-election, lining their pockets, and keep the country divided, they will do what's necessary that's going to strengthen them from them three angles.
Are you saying that's the Republican Party or just politicians? Period?
Politicians, period. Because I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it right here in the state of Florida with black elected officials. For an example, you will say, vote for me, I'm a black Democrat, and I'm going to fight for you. But they never tell the other side of it that while I'm a black Democrat running and we're going to get these racist Republicans and we're going to do this and all, but they don't say the other side to the black voters that, hey, look, I'm going to have to work with some of these guys in order to bring any money back home. See what I'm saying? Because when you look at DeSantis is a good example.
Glad you brought him up.
He put more money in the FAMU than Rick Scott. Now he's more extreme than Rick Scott,
Right.
but when he made that to get that extra money for the CAS building and all of that,
Right.
okay, when you look at DeSantis' track record as far as contributing to Cookman and FAMU,
It's been good.
it's been good. So
Well, that's good, but he needs to do something other than talk about critical race theory and passing laws that are just ludicrous, the kind of laws that will depress the thought process of people.
but he got the votes for it. He exposing.
Well, it's listen, man. Every time I think about the laws or the policies and the policies that the Republican Party pushes across the country, and everybody's got the same talking point across the country, I always have to ask myself, who is really doing their thinking for them, and who's actually calling the shots? I know we're getting ready to go on break.
Who's writing?
Who's
writing?
Who's
their
writing
speeches?
all this? Because for everything they got their talking points. Everybody's got them across the board, and it's just amazing. And I know one of the foundations is American. What is it?
American
Heritage.
Family, AFP, and all that kind of.
It's just. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz, a guy that's behind the curtain.
Right.
Well, that's why I said
they're
I'm
like
glad.
puppets.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm glad Trump exposed all that, because we can't fuss at him for what he told us he was going to do, that he was going to expose America as to who we are. In fact, before we go to break, he even mentioned, and they still, a lot of Jewish people supported him, even when he criticized the Jews, that they just wanted him in from a financial standpoint. You remember that they had it?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we come back to break, this Bezel here got on this raise. They can take the raise to Montreal or whatever, but if you think he's gonna pay property taxes for the raise to come here.
Oh, they coming. Oh, they gonna build a stadium.
Well, that's
But
a mistake.
we can talk about that when we get back.
Yeah, we can. We'll come right back on
Straight up the middle, y'all. Right here.
straight
In
up
touch.
the middle, baby.
Peace.
That's how you keep warm, up the middle. That's all I can say.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen or sundown 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. Is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
All right, my brother. Congratulations out to the Blake High Yellow Jackets. They are marching in the local gospel road parade today.
Oh, good.
And I said, I told my grandson, I said, y'all gonna march for 4 miles. He said, 4 miles? I said, man, what? I said, listen, for freedom, we had to march more
For
than
400 miles.
For 400
For
miles.
400
All right, you got
years.
something on the board now.
You talked about Middleton, but let me talk briefly about my fraternity,
Okay.
Kappa Alpha Psi. We have it. We're playing a golf tournament right now today.
Where's it at?
I don't know which course it's being held at, but Clint is there. He's playing in the tournament. The tournament is for the Guide Right Foundation. That's our foundation that sponsors young men, gives them scholarships, prepare them for the world, prepare them for school, college, trades and just gives them a guiding hand to pushing them into the community and becoming good citizens.
Yeah, my nephew.
He's a part of
He was a recipient of the coming out of high school, a local capital scholarship.
Oh, fantastic!
And he went on to FAMU and everything. And
so Clint's doing a good thing with Cap Alpha Psi, the Tampa alumni, and I just wanted to shout that out. So
he never brings. You notice when Clint comes back from the golf tournament,
he doesn't bring what?
He doesn't bring a trophy. He don't say what he shot.
Well,
he just said he had a good time.
Now, I got to tell you now, Attorney Clinton Paris is a pretty doggone good golfer. You don't want to.
Really?
You really want to mess with him if you.
I want to make sure you ain't protecting
I'm just
the
saying.
capital.
Word is.
How's the weather over there for him?
Oh, but it's cold. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you all. Those that are not here in Florida, it's cold right now in Tampa Bay, and it's windy. So it's cutting. It's about 48 degrees.
Is he freezing his golf balls?
And you talk about me. You talk about me, brother. See, I'm
sure his golf
Why
balls
y'all
are
always
cold.
get on? Now, when a conservative Republican says a clean joke,
that was way cleaner than your joke.
Hey, listen, when you played that Love and Happiness, I'm a by nature, Daryl.
You an Al Green fan?
I mean, I heard one the other day, song from Ben E. King, bro.
Oh, Ben E. King.
Yeah, because I was a DJ in high school when it cost 50 cents to get into the after the football game record hop, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Now you got something on your mind. I never heard you really say, but I'm gonna ask you today this tough question.
Uh-oh.
Can black Republicans make a difference?
Oh yeah, I just think they're afraid to.
And you're talking about.
Did you hear what I just said? I think they are afraid to, but they can make a difference. I think the Republican Party could get a whole lot more African Americans in the party if they were not pushing the wrong policy.
Well, this right-wing group we got in the Republican Party now, it's going to collapse after the 2024 election. I'm sure that.
2022.
Well, no, we don't worry about that because we know sisters and brothers not going to vote.
Well, and I have to disagree with you, and here's why I disagree with you. History has shown that we tend to, and when I say we, I mean all people tend to get lackadaisical when it comes to the midterm elections.
That's
not
correct.
just black folks, black and white folks. We all drag our feet. But the last 4 years, I'm going to say the last 12 years, the political dynamics has changed, and you can say that's because of Barack Obama. Because when he came on board, he brought new voters, and then because of Barack Obama, he brought on Trump, and then Trump brought new voters. So we now have voting blocks that we never had 20 years ago, and the mindset is different than it was 4 years ago, or should I say 6 years ago. And people have the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is giving people a reason to be in the midterm election. And the only thing that's going to keep us from winning the midterms is gerrymandering. Other than that, it ain't going to be the voting.
I saw something this week, and I want to hear you and Bethel's opinion on this. They talked about, believe it or not, young Republicans are paying attention to climate change conditions more than young black Democrats. How could that be? Because in Louisiana and everywhere else where the cancer rates are high, all that stuff is in our neighborhood, in our waters and all. What is it about those kind of issues that young African Americans got to be all behind young Republicans, conservative Republicans?
I don't agree with that.
Talking about climate change. You know, sisters and brothers, they run from that.
Listen, my oldest daughter is 39. My youngest is 32.
Okay.
And that age group, that's all they talk about. That's all they talk about. So, and so we talk.
You mean behind the scenes? Because I don't see
No.
Africa. I talk to Walter Smith about it all the time.
Okay.
He tries to get.
Walter is in his 50s now.
Right. But I don't see black Americans
late 40s.
in 40 and under really talk about climate change. although it's affected us forever.
They may not be talking about it, but it's a concern for them.
It's a real big concern for them because I see more young people involved than old people.
Black people?
I see all people.
But why is it that we got to take a back seat behind young white Republicans
We
out
don't.
front with
That's
the
just-
issue?
Nobody's taking a back seat. It's just that you're not tuned into the channel that they're promoting on.
Well, some of them channels that I try to stay tuned in that they promote different issues or whatever, when it comes time to vote, whether it's local election, state election, or federal election, they don't follow through. And a perfect example of that,
Right.
even though they used us and we really had no real power, and that's with the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, yeah, I'm just throwing it out there now. It's reality.
No. We've named the movement the Black Lives Matter movement, but how many marches have we had over the last 50 years? Let's say 10. You could maybe even 15. So it's Black Lives Matter is not any different from any other kind of march we've had.
That's correct.
It's just not different.
We just don't control it.
And we don't control it. And it's we had a little more control. That's why I say the voters now are a little different. They're a little more savvy. They're smarter. And their attack and their approach to voting and to political issues is somewhat different than it was for us.
Well, I'm glad of that because the sister that was supposed to be so involved with understanding Black Lives Matters and all, when she got exposed, she took the regular people money and got out the movement.
But she's a politician.
Of course, yeah.
She's a politician.
Of course, that's what I mean.
And when you have when you brought up the leader, she is not only she's a politician. I think is she gay?
Yes.
So she's gay, and so you have Democrats that have some issues with homosexuality, and so that's why I say that the Republican Party, if they approach things a little differently, I think they could get a lot of conservative thinking Democrats on their bandwagon, but we ain't about to embrace racism and racist issues. So that's one of the main dividing factors between blacks is not on the Republican.
Well, one of the things
that's simple.
And you brought up something when we talked about climate change and different things like that. One of the things I hope we have on this show in the future is a good, open discussion on
climate change.
Well, no, on the other issue of the mainstream gay movement and the black gay movement, because it's separate and unequal to me. You can be right here, for an example, right in the Tampa Bay area.
Okay.
The black gay movement is a little bit more coalesce, I guess, with the white gay movement in St. Petersburg, but they have no coalition at all
here in Tampa.
In Tampa,
well,
you can see it. You can see it. I mean, it's there for you to see. You talk to,
and we have a gay mayor.
Right.
Wow.
So, but
what's
can
up with
see
that?
It. Well, that's what I'm saying. And when you go to Atlanta, of course, it's different. When you go to D.C., the black gay movement is stronger.
What's the difference?
I think the difference is the location. I think the difference is the courage factor. And what I mean by that, when I talk to particular black gay women in the St. Pete area, they are some strong-willed sisters.
Right.
They won't leave out the black males.
That's good to hear.
They may have a limit. Okay, that's understandable. That's politics too. But when they're out front, and when you look at them in Tampa, man, it's like trying to pull teeth. Even though it's in their best interest to join with other groups to make a real effective difference in our community. Because you hit on it, and we're going to be closing the show up, but you hit on it when you talk to young people now. They don't see none of that as an obstruction for them.
It's not.
I mean, it's amazing. I talk to them and look. I mean, even in middle school and all. Hey, But the ones that have voting power, the coalition in St. Petersburg is more cohesive and inclusive within our black community than in Tampa.
But St. Pete has a higher percentage of African Americans living there. They got a much more concentrated block of African Americans living in South St. Pete.
But in the thought process too.
And that thought process is a lot stronger collectively than ours is. But the people in Atlanta and metro areas like Atlanta and Charlotte, Memphis, those they grow up in a space where African Americans are in control of some of their destiny. And me being from Memphis, Tennessee, I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. Went to a predominantly black elementary and middle school, high school. Went to a black college, to an HBCU. Even though I eventually transferred to what do you call it, the white schools. I can't some term my daughter uses. But anyway, any rate, our thought processes are, to me, a lot stronger.
I want to see
that
change.
The people here in Tampa.
I really want to see that, because as I tell the young people all the time, we will be there for you. We understand that you will be taking control. We'll be there for you, but you got to really be consistent for me.
Old folks got to get out the way, people.
Yeah.
Old politicians, y'all need to get out the way. When we got young people that are vying to get into the political process and be the politicians of tomorrow, they can only do that if you get your butt out the way today.
As we close out this show, young people, we will move out the way, but at least give us one slot. Just to keep them balanced.
Listen, keep the slot you got. Don't give it up. But all I'm saying is, we need more young people in the political process.
So we'll see you next week. The donuts was good. The truck is late from West Virginia. Have a good weekend. Help somebody else along the way. When you look at your foundation, Bethel, when you look at yours, Daryl, and you look at Bezel, when you look at our foundation, the Lord sent us a whole lot of people that helped build our foundation. The one that's educated, but they were solid because they kept it real. That's all I'm saying.
Keeping it real, right here.
And for lovers,
straight up the middle.
Don't be fake with your love this weekend. You'll be out in the man cave with me. That's all I'm saying.
Clint come back with a trophy. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, what trophy? Don't count on that either. And I write my check for the Capitals once they confirm that all they want is a check for me to pledge. I will leave it at that. See? Brother won't say that, though. You know what I'm saying? All right, bye-bye, everybody. I love you. We love you.
Right here. In Touch Radio.
Right.